This video is about combinations and compositions of equations. Okay, this is a lot of math talk, but just hang in there. First of all, combinations. Let f of x and g of x be two different functions. That's just two different equations. The sum of the two looks like this. F plus g of x means you take the first function and you add it to the second and you combine like terms. The difference, f minus g of x, simply means you subtract g of x from f of x and combine like terms. Product, you multiply f of x times g of x. Sometimes it's distributing, sometimes it's FOIL or box method. It just depends on the equations, but you're just multiplying. Quotient, f of x divided by g of x. And you'll see some examples of that here in a minute. Okay, so let's do this. Here's our two equations. F of x is 2x plus 1. G of x is x squared plus 5. The first is to find the sum, f plus g of x. First is to find the sum, f plus g of x. So I take 2x plus 1, and I add the second function to x squared plus 5. There's f of x, here's g of x. I just added them. Now I combine like terms and simplify. I only have an x squared term, so I have one of those, plus 2x, and then 1 plus 5 is 6. So my answer is x squared plus 2x plus 6. That is a combination. Okay, here's a difference combination. All right, so I'm going to take the difference of the two. I take f of x, and I subtract, oh, that's a plus 1, sorry, subtract x squared plus 5. Now, one of the key problems with this is people forget that this is a negative 1 being distributed across both terms. So I have 2x plus 1 minus x squared minus 5. Now I combine like terms. So I have a negative x squared plus 2x, and I have a 1 minus 5, which is minus 4. There is the difference of the two equations. F times g of x, okay? So I multiply 2x plus 1 times x squared plus 5. So I multiply using box method or FOIL, whichever you were taught. I do FOIL. First terms, 2x times x squared gives me 2x cubed. Outer terms, 2x times 5 gives me 10x. Inner terms gives me 1x squared. Last terms gives me 5. Combine like terms and simplify. 2x cubed plus x squared plus 10x plus 5. So I've multiplied the two functions together. Same two functions, let's keep going. This is the quotient, okay? F of x divided by g of x. So f of x is 2x plus 1 over g of x, x squared plus 5. Now, these things are being held together by a plus sign. The 2x and the 1, the x squared and 5. I can't simplify anything here, okay? If it had been a different equation, for instance, if it had been like 2x over x squared, and that's all f of x and g of x were, I could simplify there, and it would be 2 over x. But that's not the situation. These are being held together by plus signs. You cannot simplify or reduce in that same way. So lastly, here's an example. The difference of f minus g of x of 2. So I'm going to do the combo first, and then I sub in my 2. All right, so f minus g of x. So 2x plus 1 minus x squared plus 5. Okay, distribute that negative 1 and simplify. So I have negative x squared plus 2x minus 4. Now I do the 2 thing. I plug in a 2. So it's negative times 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 4. 2 squared is 4. Times that negative 1 makes it negative 4. Plus 4 minus 4. That's going to give me negative 4 is my answer. So you can see you're going to do the combo first, and then you sub in whatever number they give you, if that's the case. Okay, it could be addition, subtraction, multiplication. You do the combination first, then substitute in. Okay, compositions. These are slightly different, okay? One goes into the other. You substitute it in for x, okay? The first letter, think of it as the outer shell. the second letter is the inner. Okay? This one the second letter goes into the first. Okay? Wherever the x is where you're going to substitute that whole function. All right? So, example 6, f of g of x. So I'm going to take g of x, the entire equation, and I'm going to plug it in where the x is in the f equation. Okay? So, it's going to look like this. Where the x is, right here, I'm going to put in 4 minus x squared plus 2. All right? This whole thing right here is where the x was in the f equation. Now I simplify it. 4 minus x squared plus 2. I can combine 6 minus x squared, and that's all there is to it. You put in g in where the x was, g of x. Now the reverse is true. On number 7 here, I'm going to put the f equation into the g equation where the x is. All right, so f is x plus 2, so I have 4 minus x plus 2 squared. Because x is squared in the g equation, it's squared here. Now, you have to do box method or FOIL. X plus 2 times x plus 2 gives you x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4, which is x squared plus 4x plus 4. So, it is minus all of this mess over here. So it's 4 minus x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now I distribute the negative 1 all the way through, and I simplify. That 4 gets taken out by that negative 4, so what I really have is negative x squared minus 4x. And there's my final answer. Okay? So this is like, think of an M&M, outer shell versus inner shell. Whatever is first is the outer shell, whatever is inside is the inner M&M part that goes into the other. Okay, this is kind of hard, but I want you to try it on your own. Okay, let's try one more here, and then I'll turn you loose. Okay, g of f. So this is the outer equation. This is what goes on the inside. So if g is 4 minus x squared, instead of putting x, I'm going to put good old x plus 2 squared. Okay, we just did this. X plus 2 squared is x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4. Remember, using FOIL or box method, so it's x squared plus 4x plus 4. Okay, if you don't remember, go back to the last, rewind it, and I explained all that. So what I have is 4 minus all of this good stuff. All right, and then we simplified it. We distributed the negative 1, and we said it's negative x squared minus 4x, okay, because those go away. Now I do the 2 part. Remember we said before you do the combination first, in this case a composition first, then substitute in the 2. So negative 2 squared minus 4 times 2. 2 squared is 4 times the negative 1 makes it negative 4. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. So my final answer is negative 12. Okay, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense for you. Stop, rewind, rethink. If not, make sure you have some questions for me tomorrow. I want you to try this one on your own. Here's the f of x equation. Here's the g of x equation. I want you to find g of f of x. So you're going to take the f equation, plug it into the g wherever the x is, okay, and simplify. Try that, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll talk to you in class tomorrow.